Hello and welcome to ET Edge Insights exclusive interview series. Today we have with us Mr. Bala Malladi. He is the CEO of ACT Fibernet. Thank you, Mr. Malladi, for
Thank you.
taking your time out and speaking to ET
Thank you,
Edge
Tanmay.
Insights.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time and very happy and privileged to be part of this series.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
We will talk about customer experience. So let me start by asking you, what is the philosophy of ACT with regards to customer experience?
I'll go back in my journey of this company 15 years ago. We always wanted to do something that is different in the industry. 15 years ago, there was nothing like a fiber connection.
Right.
We said the best way to do a social and economic service to the country is to liberate the customer from what they actually go through a pain point every day. I was talking about 15 years ago, where the maximum internet speed available was 512 kbps. That's when we said there is a great service that we owe to the organization and to the country by just making it a part and parcel of our ethos to give what the customer wants. Of course, we're not in the charity business, but do it in such a way that there's a huge value for money to the customer. And that is when we brought the entire technology of fiber optics. So, ever since, from day one, our ethos has been give what the customer wants at very affordable prices, but do it in such a way that he or she is liberated from the pain points of having a great broadband and internet service. So, day one onwards, the philosophy ran like this, and we stand by that even today. You talk to our employees, we have 8,000 plus employees. We basically believe that the best way to deliver the customer experience as a philosophy is to make sure the people who address the customer from internally are very happy souls. So we basically say that great customer service and experience through very happy employees. And that actually made a huge difference because when you are a customer, there are multiple touch points from the system. And many of our employees keep talking to the customer, resolving their needs, delivering the service. At that point of time, you would always, as a customer, say, listen, I'm talking to a happy soul, and this organization is differentiated. And that ran through the last 15 years, day in and day out. We breathe in, breathe out our customer experience as a philosophy.
Wonderfully said. Obviously, over the years you've built this brand loyalty and trust, and it doesn't come just like that. Years of hard work, as you said, and right from day one, putting the customer on the forefront. So, was there any strategy put in place to ensure that you build this brand or enhance your brand capability?
Again, it goes to the core of the mission of the organization.
Right.
We basically say we don't talk too much about customer at the center of the universe. We basically say that we exist because the customer loves us and do everything that is required to make sure that he continues to love us.
Right.
So what happens in this, automatically every customer need that is unaddressed in life, you keep on evolving it. And those unmet needs are always, there is a system to actually process that.
Right.
And then that processed one actually becomes a part and parcel of life. Let me give an example. 10 years back, in broadband ISP industry, there wasn't called anything called a customer care 24/7 customer care center. I'm talking 12, 13 years back.
Right.
We first said, listen, customer is experiencing a problem during the night time. How do you address that? Because your call centers are shut by 6 p.m. and the real usage starts in the night.
Right.
So we started a call center which is 24/7. Lo and behold, you see a lot of people calling and say, listen, why is this website not in addressing XYZ problems in the night? And we were there to actually address that customer. At a point of time, the entire collection mechanism used to follow a cable kind of a mechanism. People used to go home and collect from the home.
Right.
So today we have more than 100 plus avenues for the customer to pay through online. I'm not talking today. 4 years ago, 85% of our customers used to pay through online.
Right.
I'm talking 4 years ago, pre-COVID adoptions. Today it is 100%.
Right.
It is a default one. But that is exactly because it is easy for the customer. Just go to your app and use your app to do all your interactions with the company. And that made a huge difference because, first of all, it made our organization very agile. Secondly, you don't prescribe a way of handling customer experience. A service engineer goes to the home of the customer, or whatever required to be done, he is empowered to do it. If he has to replace a router, he will replace a router, period, because it is an experiential matter. If he has to replace a cable, that actually last mile cable that is required to be done, he is empowered to take those calls and do whatever required. So that's exactly the philosophy. Once it gets in,
Right.
honestly, people, they get tuned into that mindset, and that makes you a clearly differentiated company with respect to service props.
Right, right. It's a very critical point, the experience that really counts. Well, technology is always, on the forefront of your business. So, how has integration of technology evolved over the years in your business, and what are some of the emerging technologies in the broadband sector?
We call it ourselves as a techno service company,
Right,
and we take a lot of pride in telling all our employees that we have 2.5 million customers and 4 people per house. We service 1 crore Indians every day, every minute, and that's a kind of a pride we take.
right,
But then the way we do is that we integrate entire technology into the life cycle of everything we do, from the company to the customer experience. And it is always evolving. Technology is one thing which runs always faster than anyone else.
right,
So you got to be on the treadmill all the time. Take an example. There was a time where during COVID, in one small house, in one small room, 3 people used to take calls on, because they were working online.
right,
And there is a time today, people have moved back to 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom houses. So the changing and evolving needs have to be addressed differently. So we used to have a complete analyzer, giving you an example of how to place your router. Because if
right.
there are 2 routers, they interact with each other. If there is a router next to your microwave, the microwaves interact with the
True.
router. So there are a lot of issues with respect to the signal messaging inside the home. So we have actually launched something called a Wi-Fi analyzer. You go to your app and open your Wi-Fi analyzer. It will actually tell you at which point of place is the best place to keep your router,
Right.
and what is the interaction that is happening. So it is like empowering the customer without even reaching to our customer care. But should the customer need anything, he can always raise a ticket on the app, and we will, irrespective of whether the problem is from the company or from the customer, we will go always and with a happy face and address that.
Right.
And we have bots that are actually helping them out. Small things like, you need an additional bill. You lost your bill. You want to claim your bill for that month. You don't need to call up somebody and ask for
Right.
it. Just raise a ticket. Automatically, bot will generate that particular month's invoice and give it to you on instantaneously.
Right.
So like this, there are a plethora of interventions we do. For example, if somebody, for whatever reasons, they actually raise a complaint, we also auto assign based on the nearest available service executive, and that particular executive's name and number is being given to the customer, and customer will be able to access that particular person, expected time of resolution. If there is a change, we keep talking to them. It's basically an empowered way of delivering the customer service, and that has been made possible through technology. Today, more than 85% of our customers don't even call us. They have app, and app gives everything. And also, as a philosophy, technology is not only enabler, it also is a differentiator. Again, if you believe in giving the real customer experience, the proof of the pudding is how you deliver it.
Right.
Even if it means it may not be in the short run good for the business.
Right.
Take an example. We are one of the few companies, perhaps in the world, who actually have given complete control of a customer life cycle to customer itself. What I mean by that is that you're a customer.
Right.
For whatever reason, you want to exit our service. We make that particular process as easy as entry into our service. So you raise a ticket on our app. It will, of course, somebody will call up, check out, why do you want to go, sir?
Absolutely.
If there is any issue with respect to us, we'll try to make good. But most of the times, what happens is if a customer is moving out into another city where
Right.
we don't have network, and irrespective of it, it is deemed to have been approved, and customer actually is facilitated to do whatever he wants.
Right.
Similar one for downgrading a plan or changing a plan, upgrade or downgrade. Normally, businesses try to disincentivize a customer in reducing that particular revenue flow. We basically said, listen, in this overall scheme of things, it makes sense for us to tell the customer that what we say is what we mean.
Right.
And that is always appreciated by our customers.
Right.
You talk to most of our customers, most of them vouch for the genuinity and for the credibility that we carry with respect to our brand promise.
Right.
And of course, technology is part and parcel of it.
Serving more than 1 crore customers with a happy face obviously requires some form of execution with regards to skills.
Yeah.
So, skill development, I believe it's a very important aspect. So, with regards to skill development, what are some of the
Yeah.
strategies ACT has in
Yeah.
place?
Yeah. As a policy, right from day one, we said anything that touches a customer will be internally managed by our own employees. For example, we don't outsource any of our customer care centers. All our customer care executives are in house. You can get a little more arbitrage by outsourcing it, but we want it to be very clear in terms of having complete control and a very focused and articulated delivery of our experience to the customer.
Right.
So, to that, you're absolutely right. It's very critical for us to get our, first of all, get the employees right. Secondly, train them well. And thirdly, it's like a cult culture of customer centricity.
Right.
It's not easy because one thing is a strategy, other is converting the strategy into reality.
Right.
So we have a series of interventions we do. First of all, when an employee is onboarded, they go through a very thorough new hire training process. And to that extent, in this company, our human resources is actually, it's a business function for us, is part and parcel, well integrated into the entire organization's way of doing business.
Right.
So an employee goes through a new hire training, and they will be given specific multiple courses on customer premise behavior. We are very, very, very particular about how our employee behaves with the customer, to an extent that we keep taking, with every touch point, we take customer update, customer experience survey we do in such a way that just in case we have any problem, we address it immediately. We want it to be a Six Sigma level. So there is a complete process called customer premise behavior training. And after doing all of it, an employee goes through certification. We have multiple ways of capturing an employee behavior. The technology that you talked about, we have a system that listens into the customer calls with the call center.
Okay.
And if any one of them actually complains or unhappy with any one of our interactions, that particular interaction is fed back to that particular person. That way, it is like for us, it is religion for us.
Right.
And not only that, you just don't do this training once in a while and leave it. Every year, these trainings are regurgitated. We have a refresher training and we have a refresher certification.
Right.
So, what will it do? It will reduce the range of failure of your delivery mechanism in the way you expect.
Right.
So, it's a very, very tenuous job, but it is so well built into the organization. Uh, it runs like a 24/7 machinery here.
Right. Right.
And that's what we take a lot of pride in.
Right. Right. Fantastic. On that note, thank you very much for your valuable time. It
Thank
was a
you.
wonderful
Thank you, Tanmay.
conversation. Wish you all
Thank
the
you.
best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really wish all of you guys
Thank you.
brilliant.